right, so we're back to it today, getting more down on the bar. Going ahead and I'm going to be making some cabinet doors here out of some old cabinet doors. And these are from the old kitchen cabinets. It's too big to fit this, but what I was just trying to figure out was where I want to put the hinges. And I was looking at it here. See, that's pretty level. But if we come over to this other side, I am way off. So this side, I'd have to kick it out almost half an inch at the bottom to make this level. So we're gonna have to go off of this frame, and then I'll have to cut it to basically match this side so it'll close into here, but this will give me a straight place so that way it doesn't want to hang open or closed. So we're gonna go ahead and get that marked up. All right, so one thing I do recommend is when you're marking things for on your cabinet door, like so the top here is going to be this edge. So that way you just imagine when you'll stand this up, you'll know which end is going to be where so you don't get confused when you're doing your measurings. So essentially what I'm going to do is measuring across there and down at the bottom, and then transferring this bottom one to down there. But I also have to get the measure from top to bottom and then put that one first so I know where to put that bottom one. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. All right, so now we have this bottom. We have that distance measured, but also remember, you can see how I have an overhang. So this latches on. So that's what this is for. This first line is to go inside the cabinet, and that second one is the 1/4 inch. So it actually locks onto the frame. So now that we have that done, now we have to do our side to side measurements and get those transferred up. So now we have this all marked. You can see the difference between this end and down here where it gets to basically nothing. So what I'm going to do to keep the illusion that everything is going to be straight and square on this, I'm going to actually just take this off so this whole edge is going to overlap down here. So I'm going to go get the table saw set up and we'll get this one trimmed down. All right, to get this set up was actually pretty straightforward. I just set the height, and you can see to the original what it's set to there. This is the original edge, so we're just going to set that to that, and then we'll get it lined up, and then we can zip it off, and everything should be exactly the same. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so you can see I got this groove cut in. So this groove is going to be where this groove is going to be where the cabinet face touches down inside there. So from here over, all this is just going to get cut off. So I'll do that after so I don't have to reset the blade depth. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and try to get this one ripped, which is going to be fun because it's not lined up right. So I got it cut down as much as I can with the straight cuts. Now we're going to have to figure out how I can do this, basically this freehand cut. So I did cut off the other end, so now you can see basically the relief that it's going to stick on. But now I'm going to go test it again just to see how it's going to fit. Make sure I'm correct on this. All right, I figured out I'm overthinking it. Literally what I need to do is just do a straight cut down to here, because this is still going to catch onto the cabinet. It just won't be as tight inside the frame. So, but that's going to be more than acceptable. So we're going to head and take this down more. All right, so we got the big one done now. Essentially what we did was we put it on here with it running, and just this will only let us go so far, which would be up to this edge. So literally taking the board and kind of going back and forth the whole time as we're going across it. And that's how we got our nice big groove here. So now we're gonna go make sure she fits. All right, so you can see it actually fits in here pretty nice. So, and there's actually slack so it can move around. So we're gonna call that good. I will have to get hinges put on, so that way it can actually open straight. But I think I might put the hinges on this side so it opens away from the other cabinets. So that way you can get in here a little bit easier. Because if this were to open this way, it would be over top the other doors. So this way I can put it here because the mini fridge will be in here. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get this mounted, or not this mounted. We'll go ahead and get the rest of it because I got to get a support for here. All right, so I got this door marked at the bottom. Same markings. Basically, this is going to be the little reveal that actually lands on the cabinet. Then from this line down gets cut off. But that's what's going to go here. This one's going to actually open from here to this way. This other one's going to have to open towards that other cabinet door just for aesthetics, and it wouldn't make sense any other way. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one cut off, and then I'll be back. All right, so we got this one cut. It's actually just sitting here right now, so it actually has to get lifted up when I get the hinges put on. But now you can see where this is going to land. So I need to, well, you can see now here where this is going to land. So I need to get a strip from here to the bottom put in. And then I'm going to have to cut one of these. I got two more doors here. One's a little bit bigger and one's a little smaller. And we'll see what works better in here. So now we're going to go ahead and get measurements for this. And since these cabinets are going to be painted anyway, you can see here, I just went ahead and put my mark here. So this is how big, I want it, and then run it down. So now we'll just get this measurement. I'll get a filler strip and we'll get her fastened in. All right, so you remember the marks we put here. So what we did is underneath, since this actually goes up in, to make this easier, I actually recessed this piece. So that way I should be able to fit this up inside there and then down here, so I can actually get a screw in through the bottom, and I'll be able to screw it in through up here in the top where it won't be seen also. So I can do down here and up here, and that gives me perfect. So that way this is just for the cabinet door to have a place to land on, and I'll just fill that with a little wood putty. So we're going to go ahead and make sure this is leveled and get this fastened in. All right, so I got that on. I actually went ahead and got another little filler strip here just to make it look a little bit nicer. So now this door has a good spot. This door can land on that now. And now I can size this for the other door. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and then we'll be back. All right, so we got them in here and they line up pretty even. That's gonna get covered with some putty. But so now I need to get this flat edge. This flat edge has to get rounded like this one. So we're gonna go ahead and get the basically the sander out on this and get this whole strip done before we go any farther. All right, so now you can see I got the edge sanded on there. And what we're gonna do now is I already started hitting some of this with the sander, but I wanna get all of these doors sanded down before I go any farther with them. So we're gonna get these sanded down because they're gonna get painted to kind of match the color theme going on in the basement. But so once these are sanded down, I got to actually sand the frame also, because this is going to get painted also. So we're going to just do a lot of sanding and then we'll be back. All right, so these are all sanded down now. They're ready to go for the paint. So that's going to be a good stopping point for the day. Then I can get the rest of this stuff cleaned up and out of here. And then we'll start scuffing up the cabinet face so we can get that painted too. But that's all for the day. All right, so we got everything sanded. The shelves are out, everything is cleaned up. The stuff down here is actually going to be some leftover stuff from another project that I'll show you later on. So that's all good to go. It's ready, really just paint now.